My league starter Blood Mage has been revived by this Blink Auto Bomber. We just use one button to blink through the map. Everything dies around us. The boss fight ends up super fast with one blink, and the lightning bolt just chain itself indefinitely to deal tens of millions of damage in a blink of seconds. Originally, my friend got me to follow streamer John Goran's build to revive my Blood Mage character. Well, I just found out that the damage of this build is so insane. I just end up using a magic fund setup with it. It is really effective doing bridge farming, and currently I'm running 318 rarity on this character. Do be aware of that this build chain lightning bolts so frequently and it may crash your instance. This probably has a high probability to be nerfed in the coming patch because it's considered to have performance issue. However, I enjoyed leveling this character to level 93, killed a lot of pinnacle bosses and farmed a ton of currency. I do think we can set up a different spell even though if this got nerfed. On the gear, we only need two pieces. One is the Temporalis skill rob. This used to be probably 200 or 100 divines. However, there was a crackdown on the price because of some of the explosion happening in the community. This is a really great piece of armor to have because look at the last line there. Skill have minus 3.84 seconds to cool down. This is the most important enabler for this build. The second piece is the Choir of the Storm unique amulet. This will trigger lightning bolts whenever we deal critical hits. That's what we need to set up basic of this build. For the rest of the gear, on the helmet, I use at Zeri's Disdain, gain 30% of maximum life as actual maximum energy shield. This will give us a ton of energy shield. On the glove, this is really nice to have to keep us stay alive more often. Without this, I think we should be doing super fine. We should have much lower budget to find a rare gloves to fill all of the elemental resistances or chaos resistances. And then on the reins and the boots, I just look for resistances, and we don't need any movement on this because we just blink through the entire map super fast. And here I'm using the Ingenuity belt to get the bonus from the both of the rings, but we don't really need to have this. We can have any rare that can fill in the gap of resistances. Other than that, I'm just running this scepter weapon. There's no damage stats on this weapon at all. We're only using the spirit on this one. With the 205 spirit provided, we can run all of the setup with the blink, cast on critical, etc. For the magic setup, I'm running this really great shield with a lot of item rarity found on this item. Other than that, I have 20 on the armor piece, another 20 on the ring, and another 22 on the boots. And also 20 comes from the helmet. Currently, we're running at 318% item rarity, which is insane for the build. The original build is using some wand like this. You have some additional damage as a lightning damage, some plus level for all lightning spell skills, and also critical hit for spells, and some cast speed. However, I just end up finding this build is really strong on the damage. Without even any damage stat on the weapon, we can kill all of the T15 to T18 bosses with all of the 10 Atlas Tree boss points. We can still easily kill the boss in just a few seconds. I end up not using any damage stat at all. If you do want, you can use a weapon like this together with the scepter that we have, but we lose a lot of item rarity. That is an option to you. If you really want to kill some boss to be safe, just put some weapon like this. You can run the weapon without the critical hit chance for spell. That will end up really cheap. The skill setup is very straightforward. Lightning bolt, we have Lightning Mastery, Considered Casting, Magnified Effect, and the Spell Echo. Just pay attention to this amulet. We should be able to use level 19 Lightning Bolt when we reach level 84. Before that, at level 78, we should be running an amulet using level 18 Lightning Bolt. On the blink, we have Arcane Temple to do the casting much faster. I also added Unbreakable and the Wind Wave to provide a more defensive layer. And then we're running Grim Fist to get our energy refilled and also overflow. Cast on critical, we have a Spark. Do put the lowest level of Spark as you can because that's gonna consume a lot of mana and we don't want that. Do quality up your gem everywhere on this build because this will provide 4 additional projectiles. That is really great for us to trigger critical hits and then do the lightning bolt chaining. We are also supporting blink with life type and also fork. Sorry, support cast on critical. Cast on dodge. This is the main skill that we will be using actively. That's the only one button we're clicking. We're supporting this with level 1 quality 20 spark, chain, acceleration, and also another level 1 and a quality 20 spark gem. For single target, we have two options. One is to use soul offering. This one can be supported by ablation, dance, mag breed, and also meaning mastery. If we are not using this one, we can also use Archmage as the original video. By doing that, we have to disable cast on critical and enable Archmage. However, I just found out for a lot of the pinnacle bosses and the bosses I found in the game, even not using any of these setups, we should be able to kill them without any issue. However, I just found out Soul Offering has just like one additional button we need to click. We don't have to disable on the skills. That is more convenient for me. That's what I was using in my fight. We can also use Eye of Winter, supported by Ratchet, Pierce, and also Deceleration to trigger the critical hits. Instead of dodging, using Eye of Winter sometimes can trigger the critical hits and the lightning bolts much easier. Other than that, I think I'm just running Cannibalism and also Vitality on this build. For the Ascendancy, we're going for Blood Mage. Definitely pick up this Sanguinacy. Then second one, I'm going for Vitality for some Leech of Life. And then we go to the left for more critical damage based on life. And this is the important one to change our Spark base critical chance to 15. Our Spark is currently at 62% critical hit chance. We don't really want to get this critical hit chance really high because that's gonna crash our instance probably if we go above 70. But I will cover the graphic settings later in the video. This tree is pretty much very similar to the streamer's passive tree. However, I just dumped some of the critical damage bonus point there and go for more cast speed. Because I'm already level 19.3, I think the original video probably is around level 100 or something, so they can pick some additional damage nodes there. This is what I have. I will leave the link to my planner down in the description for you to look at the details. For the jewels, the most critical one is to recover 1% or 2% of mana on kill, and then you want some maximum energy shield recharge. You can look for critical hit chance or critical hit chance for spells. That'll all work to our build. I don't have any timeless jewel or some other fancy jewel yet, but I feel this should be provide us enough, especially the recover 2% of the mana on kill is most important. We have 1.5k life, 3.5k energy shield, and we kept all of our elemental resistances and also chaos resistance. Lastly, on the graphic settings, I have NVIDIA GeForce 3060. This might be 2 or 3 years old graphic card. It's not that fancy. I have to just lower a lot of the settings, set a lot of the texture to low, and most importantly, we should enable this image quality to ultra performance. This default is balanced, but we have to change to ultra performance to really play the game smoothly. However, if you have a much better graphic card, you can set up much higher setting here. Also, I enable the dynamic calling. Leave multi-threading here, otherwise the game gonna be really slow. My CPU is not that fancy, but depending on your setting. One thing to notice is that if we crash during the boss phasing, for example from phase 1 when they transition to phase 2, we're pretty fine. We can just go back to the portal. There's still gonna be portal remaining. We can go back and continue our mapping and the bossing. However, for some other reason, if we just crash during the middle of the map, unfortunately, we cannot go back to the map, so we lose the map. On the good side is that this build just blinks through the map really fast. You can keep blinking because everything will die just behind you. You don't have to really look back. For the rares and the bosses, you just blink once or twice. You just went up there to pick up your loot. Other than that, just blinks through all the map. It's really okay for me to crash sometimes. It's not ideal, but this is how we play the build. That's all I want to share in this video. If you found this useful, fun, and maybe entertaining, just like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to support us. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.